You're Australian, Colombian, no? Canada as well, right?
Yep, born in Australia, North American parents. Gringo
parents,
Criollo.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So I just say good day, parceros, and we're off. We're here with Life with David.
What's up, guys?
We just did a in-depth interview conversation about life afar. If you want to check out that conversation, head over to his channel, Life with David. Be link in the description. We're taking a walk through Pueblito Paisa. We're walking up the hill to Pueblito Paisa. This is a beautiful walking track.
Beautiful.
I mean, another.
Did you get those flowers over there?
Yeah, I mean,
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
like this with the Unidad Deportiva de Belén definitely gives a few points to living over this way on the other side of the river.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about Medellín. It's just so green. It's just everywhere you go. Like here, obviously here, but even in the city and the neighborhoods, it's green everywhere. It's beautiful.
That nature, I think, adds to the cheerfulness, the alegría, the energy that you feel when you come into this valley. I spent my first 10 years in Colombia, in Bogotá. I wanted a bit more chaos and unpredictableness,
Yeah.
but I'm now appreciating and enjoying the relaxed, cheerful nature of this valley, which it just makes it the perfect place to focus on doing what you want to do. A steady quality of life.
Uh-huh.
You can work, you can have a remote job, you can build your business online. The cafe culture is insane.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for digital nomads, perfect for people who are just like, all right, I want to live in a different vibe.
Yep. Yep.
How did you get out here? I know you've talked about, have you ever lived in Poblado, or why
No.
don't you? No.
No.
Okay. So you found a lifestyle outside of Poblado.
And that was probably by accident, because when I came, I didn't know much about Medellín or Colombia, and I just looked for Airbnb. My main goal was to stay in Airbnb in a shared house, so I won't be alone. And I found one in El Estadio, that neighborhood near the metro, or near the Estadio, and I just loved it. And then, of course, from El Estadio, I would go visit Poblado, and I saw, it's not my cup of tea. I never lived there. I was always staying around this area.
Yeah, I started living in Bogotá in Centro Candelaria, and I liked that because I could kind of see the city from the guts, and then kind of move into Chapinero Alto,
Right.
Chico, like those kind of nicer areas. When you come into Medellín and you come into Poblado, you're kind of like floating on the top a little bit. You're not going in under the skin of like what makes this place.
Yeah, you're not getting the real. I mean, Poblado, of course, Colombians live in Poblado. That's the culture of Poblado. But Poblado is like the rich area. So when you have rich people, rich area, you have less people in the streets. More people drive. They have cars, and I don't like that, because I come from the States and everybody drives cars. Nobody's in the streets, and I want to live in a different culture. I want to live in a different country where it's different than the States. So a lot of foreigners go to Poblado because they feel it's almost like a transitioning phase. They're leaving the States for the first time, maybe, or the second time, and they don't want to have too much of a difference. So they go to Poblado because they have the international restaurants, they have more modern stuff. So that's everybody's cup of tea.
All right, so we're now reaching that elbow on that curve, that influx of foreigners and Americans coming to Medellín, to Colombia. Have you seen how is Medellín changing? What have you seen over the last 6-7 years?
Man, definitely there's more foreigners, not so much, because when I first came in 2016, it was on that curve. It was already building up popularity. So a lot of people were coming, and then during the pandemic, it just went nobody. It was
ghost town.
It was very interesting to be here with hardly any foreigners. You go to Poblado and Manila. Manrique. No, hold on.
So that's when we bumped into each other, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's when I was doing
I saw him GoProing on the street, and I'm like, I know that life. I know that GoPro life.
Yeah, it was ghost town over there.
Yeah.
But
Parquejeros was the worst place to be because it was the most shut down. Whereas in Centro, streets were jam-packed.
Everything was normal. Back it was actually refreshing to be to have less people walking around.
Okay.
I guess you can say that. But what has changed? The infrastructure. They're improving the infrastructure. I mean, here Pueblito Paisa done a lot of improvements. They're putting out more bike lanes. They're having, so the governor here in Medellin is really doing a good thing. They're actually putting a new metro in. They're construction to start that. So things are just improving here in Medellin.
I think that piece exactly is what Medellin and Antioquia does better than almost any department in Colombia, which is managing public infrastructure. You'll notice it here in Medellin, like it's the best in Colombia, from the city bikes that they have, from the streets, from the Ciudad del Rio they're putting in. Like it's happening in a really good way here.
Yeah. I mean, Bogotá is the capital of the country, but they're still in fight on making starting the metro. They can't make a decision. Do we start? Do we not? So
yeah,
it's ridiculous. And Medellin's already put in another line, you know. So. And
I think, you know, like the diversity of Bogotá is its strength, but also the weaknesses. It has so many different voices to represent. A lot of people who come from other parts of the country who don't see Bogotá as their own, whereas here in Medellin, every Paisa sees Medellin as their own, and they're proud of it, and they take care of it, from the culture on the metro to, you know, you don't see litter. Like the streets are clean. People are, you know, proud. Right. And take care of the place they live in.
That's one main reason why I love living in Medellin, is because it's Latin America, but it's organized, it's clean, and there's poverty, but you don't see as much poverty as other parts of Latin America, unfortunately.
And we've got initiatives, or I guess like movements towards one, becoming an eco city,
right?
And you know, and then being the Silicon Valley of Latin America.
That's right.
So if these things are executed, these are really, really valuable initiatives and visions to be building. Before the pandemic, I don't know if you kind of saw this as much, but I saw one of the #1 reasons people were leaving Medellin, expats who had moved here, were leaving because of the air quality.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That's one of my biggest negatives against Medellin, is the air quality. 100%.
Now it's improved, but there's still days where you can see the air is not where it could be.
Before the pandemic, there was times where it was red alert. Like you literally couldn't be outside. They said, don't go outside, don't ride bicycles, don't go jogging, stay indoors, because the air quality was so bad.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of industry that's based inside the valley, and there's a certain month, I think it was around March, where the climate would really just kind of lock in the air, and you wouldn't get as much flow. I remember feeling it, you know, feeling it in my nose and the eyes, like it was tangible.
It was bad.
Which is bad. But, you know, I guess all big cities have to deal with this. And they're apparently moving a lot of the industry outside of the valley,
right,
to improve that. But as we, you know, get more investment into technology and this eco movement, which I think is Medellin's biggest opportunity.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the one good thing about the government here is they have a game plan that they've been following for many years. Like every new governor that comes on board, they're basically following the same game plan that was already implemented. Yeah. Versus like maybe in Bogotá, where like you said, there's so many voices, they're always fighting, they're always changing. They don't stick to the same trayecto, right? The same, you know, whatever it's called in English.
That is key.
Yeah.
That is key. Yeah. If you're always changing direction, you don't get as far. And I think Medellin, it might have something to do with just like being in a valley, and everyone can see each other, you know, and you can see your neighbors. Whereas in Bogotá, you're just kind of in the jungle. You can't see over there, over here. Maybe. I don't know. It's just a theory. Maybe. The more self-aware that we're living with other people, the more likely we are to work together to make it a better place.
It's also the culture here, like the Antioquian culture, the Paisa culture. Like they take pride in that, like honesty. I mean, of course, there's dishonest things that happen here in Medellin, of course, as well. But for example, an example is taxis. Here in Medellin, you can trust the taxi's going to take you to the spot they tell you to take you, and not overcharge you, and turn on the taxi meter. 99% of the time, I've never had a problem with the taxi here in Medellin. Yeah. In Bogotá, the first time I went, man, dude ripped me off big time, you know. So that's what it is.
Yeah, gotta be on your guard. Any regrets moving to Medellin?
No. No regrets, man. That's why that's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I can't find. I mean, I think Colombia kind of ruined me in the sense that, like, I've been to other countries before I came to Colombia, and I loved them, and I still love them. But I went back to those same countries after I lived in Colombia, and I look at them with different eyes. Like, oh, it's not that nice as I remember it being, because I'm comparing to this.
Yeah.
You know, so
it changes you. It does change you. It's like, okay, there's a way to live here, and you know, in Medellin in particular, the amount of nature that is integrated into the city, but also the architecture, which is going to be an ongoing theme on this channel, showing how cities can integrate more nature into everyday life. I think we've built a lot of concrete and glass jungles that have disconnected us from more natural rhythms. And I think it is that natural rhythm that creates that health, that alegria, that cheerfulness in the culture and the vibe and the energy that you feel as soon as you come into this valley.
100%, 100%. You know, you walk down the streets and you see like mango trees everywhere. Like, there's even vendors who sell mangoes on the street. Like, when it's mango season, they're out there just packing it in, and it's all free. Initially they were planted for the birds, like many years ago. But now it's like it actually helps people, it feeds people, and people actually take that and make a business out of it. Also, another thing I love about Colombia, people are so industrious. Like, you'll be in this, like in El Centro, and you see they made their business out of a baby carriage. They took a baby carriage, they reformatted it to where they can make. I've seen one lady had a grill, so it was grilling chicken. And it used to be a baby carriage. I was like,
resourcefulness. I think that's actually the part of the magical realism. I think I've cracked the formula for the magical realism. Hear me out. Like, resourcefulness, right? So a baby stroller grill. That's resourcefulness. Which creates this unpredictable situation, right? Like a baby stroller grill. Like, you're like, I didn't see that one coming.
And she's making money, man. She's making money. And I bought the chicken from her. It was good chicken. You know,
and so then, you know, she's in Central, and then there's some other unpredictable, resourceful person, and that resourcefulness creates even more random, unpredictable situations, which then causes more resourcefulness, because you've got to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to operate in this just pieced together, unpredictable environment. So I think that those two things compound and feed each other and create that elevated randomness, that elevated, like, magical realism.
And you mentioned about taking pride in their community, in the city. For example, the metro here. The metro, man, it's 20 plus years old, and it looks better than most other metros in the world. You go to Paris, you go to New York, and that's compared to the metro, even though it's smaller here, but there's no graffiti. Nobody eats. If you go on the metro and you're eating, you're gonna get some bad stares. Maybe even someone will tell you you're not supposed to eat here. You know, so they just take pride in what they do here, you know, the city. So
and that you know, there's a lot of comments like, oh, Medellin's getting expensive, prices going up.
it's true.
It's going to keep going. Medellin is at that, you know, the word has been getting out, but it is unstoppable now. It's going world class with the restaurants, and in particular the architectural style. I think we're just going to see more and more beautiful developments where you've got all the plants and vegetation integrated into it in a way that you can't do anywhere else. Because of this consistent climate, you're able to integrate nature into your architecture like nowhere else. So that, with the nightlife, with the restaurants, with everything, it's just going to keep on happening. As the world has realized, we can work from anywhere, but I do kind of want to be on the same time zone as the teams I'm working with. We're now seeing this reorganization of our civilization, like longitudinally. Right? So Medellin is going to continue its growth cycle, in my opinion. It's going to be something to watch. So I think we're going to buckle up.
Just a little, I guess, request. Don't turn this to Costa Rica, guys. When you come to Medellin, to Colombia, learn the prices. Learn what the prices should be. And don't think, oh, it's just so cheap, it's only 2,000 pesos, I'll pay 10,000, no big deal. No, pay the local prices here, especially in Medellin. Like, for example, I went to buy some gum off a street vendor. He gave me the right price. It was 800 pesos. I paid him 800 pesos. You know, maybe give him a little bit extra, 50 pesos. But Don't come here with the mindset, oh, it's so cheap here, no big deal, because that's what happened in Costa Rica. And now look at Costa Rica, it's super expensive. And like you said, this is going to become crazy. A lot of expats will come here, especially with digital nomads and working remote. Don't price out the locals, and let's keep Medellín the same consistency, you know.
I like that the Medellín Paisas are leading this more. I hope it is that way. I feel like in Costa Rica, they kind of took a step back, and the gringo, the gringo foreigner kind of just led the culture and the prices and led the situation. I still have hope that is happening here in Medellín and Colombia.
Well, you just look at Poblado, for example. Now you go to Poblado, man, everybody's the price is super high, and now everybody's asking for tips. Yeah. Tip culture wasn't here in Colombia.
That's true.
Now it's expected in Poblado.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
The reason why they do tips in the States is because waiters don't get paid. They get paid horrible wages, like $2 an hour. That's why they live off tips. Here in Colombia, they actually get paid the wage is supposed to be getting paid, plus benefits, plus health, plus everything.
Well, all of our global cultures are merging right now, and we're all becoming similar.
Yeah.
We're all starting to have shared memes and ideas and cultural mannerisms now. I think part of the charm of Colombia has been its isolation.
That's
for
the
so
thing.
long.
Yeah.
It's kind of had the time to develop and hold its own kind of culture longer than a lot of other places that
100%.
Internationalized really quickly.
100%.
You know, so.
We'll just see. I don't mean there's nothing wrong with giving a tip. It's good service, that kind of stuff. I do it as well, but let's not turn into the United States where you feel like you're obligated to give a 30% tip, or you're gonna get your food spit in. You know, let's keep Colombia, Medellín, and learn the prices. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Yeah. I mean, to keep Colombia, I think it's on Colombians to figure out what do they want, what do they value, how do they want to run it. It's on them, and I think it's on the guest
to learn the culture.
Yeah, it's to adapt, to learn, to assimilate. It's not about, okay, I'm here now, this is the way it is, this is my lifestyle, everyone else should live like me now.
No.
That's how we all end up homogenous.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it.
We all end up the same.
That's not the way to do it, man.
It's not the way.
Yeah, you gotta adapt to the culture here.
All right. Well, thanks for doing your YouTube videos and sharing a reasonable perspective and quality of life in Medellín.
No worries, man. Appreciate you.
All right, good stuff.
Ciao,
All right,
ciao.
see you in the next one.